statistically, your generation is the least churched generation. Institutional Christianity is said to be on the decline, but yet you guys are here so vibrant, so full of faith, and Gen Zers, you know, really about what the Lord is doing in your life and want to show it to other people. So give me more about why you've chosen to stay committed to your convictions on Christianity versus maybe following a different path.
That's a really good question, I think, considering we're all Gen Zers.
Yeah.
And I think something that I've seen specifically in like our generation is a lot of caring about ourselves a lot more. Like, what do I want to do? How do I want to be happy? Like, what makes me happy? And a lot, I think, maybe this could just be me, but also like instant gratification is what I see in a lot. Or it's a lot like in my friend groups or just like people around me. And I think when you come to Christ, that kind of all changes. Like, it's not just you worrying about yourself. Like, now you're, and especially when you are like in a leadership position, like you have other people that are dependent on you.
Yeah.
So I think your life, I guess maybe that's my experience, where I think my life, once I truly felt like Jesus came into my life completely changed. Like, it was no longer I was caring about what I want to do, but like it's Christ who lives through me. So it's like, wow, what does God want to do through me? And although I feel like our gratification is a delayed. It's like not something that we're going to see specifically right now. Obviously, like we have a lot of blessings that God does bless us, and that is more like an instant gratification. But I think like at the end, like going to heaven and praising God forever, like just for all eternity, that's very delayed, or maybe not super delayed, but that's like not something that we're seeing. No, definitely not. But that's like the thing we're not seeing like right now. Like we're not, our ultimate goal is not something right now, which I think is like something that kind of goes against to what we see like in our generation. But I think personally, like one of the reasons why I think I have felt so like drawn to God, just seeing how much He has worked in my life. It's just, part of me is just like, how can I not? Like I cannot change it. Like I've tried, so and it reminds me of that verse, I don't remember where, but in Jeremiah, where he's like, he tried running away, but he couldn't. Like he was seduced by Christ. Like, and I feel like there's so many times where like I've personally tried running away from God, just like in my own, not being wise. And it's just like every single moment I try to run away, God pulls me in. It's like, you're not going anywhere. Like this is, like I am here in your life. You're not leaving. And I think because of all of that mercy and all of His forgiveness that He's given me, like what I always tell like anyone who asks, when I look back at my life, I've definitely made terrible decisions, and I think it's the reason why I'm here today is just like by God's grace. Like every single decision I made, especially throughout high school, was a decision that only drew me away from God. But for some reason I am here and I feel like most close to God now, and it's just like, wow, God, you've helped me through that so much. You've protected me. You've brought me here. The least I can do. This is the least I can do. Like, you deserve so much more. And like you've just shown me so much. And I think that's something that's like why it's kept me following God.
That's good. The testimonies of God. You just
no, you cannot.
No matter what the culture or whoever may be saying against Him, it's like they may have had a poor experience with the people of God, but not God.
But not God.
God is a different type of. Any other examples of why maybe as more people are following the nun camp or going just completely out of religious spaces altogether, why you guys have chosen to be followers of Christ?
I think people tend to have this idea that they want to have a personal faith but not part of an institution because they don't like the idea of authority or submission to authority. And I think that that's something that our culture has tainted a lot, the word submission, and it just sounds really ugly. But honestly, if we're serving a perfect master, there's nothing better than that. There's like absolute freedom in that. And so what I found is that just being part of a church and being committed to people, saying like, oh, I have a covenant with God. Also, I'm like bound to these people with me and I'm responsible for them. And if I see them falling away from their faith, I have to be there to help and pick them up too. That type of commitment is something that has been a huge blessing in my life because I know that I'm also being held in the same way by other people around me. So.
I feel like I want to add one thing too. I feel like what has like helped me so much too is thinking of it like thinking of my faith less as like an institutional thing at the same time. Like, you know, we've been using the word like faith a lot, and like I feel like for some people it's like faith, religion, what is it? Like, you know, what's the difference? But for me, something that was like really emphasized was like don't think of it as religion, but think of it as a relationship, right? And so I think when we, like for me, and I think for a lot of people, they might have like certain connotations with the word religion, like, oh, it's just about like the law and it's about the rules. And like, we know that Jesus totally tore that down when he came to earth. And so I think that has been something that not everyone realizes, and I think turns a lot of people away. But when you realize that it's just walking through life with the creator of the universe abiding with you in every moment, then it's like, oh, maybe I could do that, you know? And so I think that's what's helped me.
I love that.
Something that I did like what Catherine said was that I feel like in your faith in Christianity, and when you do have like a church fellowship or even like HCFA, or just like when you have a group of believers, you can scratch each other's backs. Like I feel like we're all in a circle and everyone has each other's backs. Like I'll have Opiemi has Catherine, Felina has Camille has me. Like no one goes untouched. Like everyone is like, I don't have to, and I think that's something that's really beautiful in this community and just in our walk with Christ, is that I don't have to worry about myself. I can gladly and wholeheartedly worry about my brother and sister because I have that confidence that she is going to worry about me. And I think we sometimes like live in a very like, I don't know what the word is, but like very
isolated
and like
individualistic,
and like where we only care about our like safety. I think we sometimes, especially honestly, Loki, sometimes, especially like on Harvard's campus, I think it's very, I guess in some spaces it's very agitating, not agitating, but like, it's like people are attacking each other. Like everyone wants to protect themselves. Like I want to get the highest grades. I want to get the best internship. I want to do this. I want to do that. I need to protect myself from X, Y, and Z. And I think there's freedom in this fellowship, in this faith, because you know that, wow, I don't have to care about myself so much because I have, not only do I have like the literally best creator ever worrying about me and taking care of me, but I know I also have like people around me. And I think that's why it's super important to like have friends or have a fellowship. Like Catherine was saying, that like this isn't just like a personal journey, but also like this institutional, like whether it's within a church or within a club or with like even within your family, like it's so important because of course like it's our personal relationship with God, but it's like there's also just a huge component where it's like all of us together. And there's just so much beauty in not being alone, which is like something brand new, which I'm like experiencing this semester. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Like this is way different.
If we think in the broader context, people think and feel differently global. And many of you guys looking around have a global perspective like to offer. What do you think about and what has been the positive impacts or even negative impacts of global Christianity from like more of a world point of view?